Yeah. Yeah. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash.
It's your boy Crypto Blood. Yeah, I'm back, baby. Episode 73 off the chain. Let's get it. It's been a while, but I'm back. We got some new guests. We got some returning ones. We're going to get it live, get it cracking here in about 2 minutes. Let's get it. Go. Hit that like button. Let's get it. Let's get it. Tonight we're going to be talking about Michael Saylor and his risking the company. Is he? We'll see. I mean, he's saying that buying MicroStrategies is as close to buying a Bitcoin ETF that you can get. I don't know. I mean, this guy is going crazy with the Bitcoin. You guys got to let me know what you think. We'll ask the panelists as well. Is it too much? You can always do too much of anything. And is he buying too much Bitcoin for a publicly traded company? I need to know. Let's get it. First they love you, then they hate you. Ukraine bans crypto. What is that all about? We'll talk about it on tonight's episode. And this is good news right here. Crypto payments are here on Twitter now. They are paying creators on Twitter with cryptos. We'll get the details. They've linked up with Stripe. And I think that's a really great thing. We'll also touch on Elon. Man, this guy has anteed up that money to buy Twitter. Let's get it. Let's get it. I told you, make moves, nigga, stack it to never. And we got a couple other topics we're going to do tonight. But make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And click that bell to receive more videos like this. Let's get it, people.
Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live. Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing it live, baby. Let's go. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up.
It's like
we
the
got
most
Rice
intro, man.
the hypest intro in crypto.
Bro, I'm over here
ever hear.
I'm over here taking notes. I'm like,
yeah,
me and Miguel about to do something like this. I like this.
Popping it off.
We got RiceTVx in the building. We got CryptoKeeper in the building. A new guest. I met him down in Miami. I think Rice, you met him down there as well. What did you guys think about Miami before we actually get started with tonight?
I love Miami. I'm probably going to be moving to Miami. I've been to Miami so freaking much. It's become the crypto capital of not only the United States, but it just seems like the crypto capital of the world. And not only were the events really great. I mean, I spoke and attended at Shitcoin 2022. I was at Monerotopia, and I also attended Bitcoin 22. And I would tell you, the Bitcoin conference itself was, in my opinion, the largest crypto conference I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot of them. So it's really interesting to see how the mainstream appeal is taking on, and it's actually really good to see the diverse amount of people out there. There were so many people that came up to me. I shouldn't say so many people, but there were several people that came up to me that were familiar with my channel that I did not think even would have fit my demographic. So it was amazing.
I mean, you're famous, man.
I'm not famous. Yeah. You're famous.
I'm glad
you're the one in the Netflix documentary, man. I'm not on no Netflix.
CryptoKeeper, man. What was your take on Miami?
Man, I enjoyed it. For me, because I'm so new to the social media game, I literally I came onto the social media game in the end of May of last year. So I'm new to the social media thing. So for me, it was about making connections. It was about networking, actually meeting you, for example, face to face. So I've seen you, I'm on Around the Blockchain. I think I've been on Around the Blockchain with you. Yep. Rice, I've been on Around the Blockchain with him. So it's one thing to talk like we're talking right now. It's another
Right.
thing to be out and about and actually like making that connection. That's one of the reasons why, just kind of a side note, that I think that the metaverse is going to be an interesting thing as we move forward, because the people, for me, I'm such a people person. The people connections are where it's at. We had a freaking great time. There was a ton of people there. You know, I was surprised. You know, we've got 5,500 on YouTube, and I've got like 55,000 or something on TikTok. And there was actually like a number of people that came up to CryptoKeeper, like debate crypto, whatever.
Wow.
I was actually really surprised. It was kind of humbling. It was pretty cool. And yeah, man, it was fun. And Miami was dope. I rented a Lambo while I was down there. So I had
right. A keeper pulled up on me in the Lambo. I had to give him a quick package real quick. Bam, bam, hand to hand move. On Collins.
Let's be clear, it was a ticket to the, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't like handing off packages.
If I remember it correctly, too, like, actually, that was me, Blood. That wasn't you.
Oh, yeah, no, it was Rice. Was in the middle of the street.
I actually went in the middle of the street at the right intersection to get those tickets to give to you, homie.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Driving in his Lambo.
Yeah.
Remember, I was meeting you to give you the.
Yep.
So I was walking over to get my media pass right before I had my heat stroke issue.
Yeah.
And
I didn't hear about
that's
that.
right when I was saw Keeper in his Lambo. And that was the other thing I was going to mention about Miami and going to all of these different crypto conferences. It's really cool to be able to see viewers and subscribers in our community. But the thing I really enjoy the most is being able to connect up with not only just my peers, the people I work with, but be able to see people in the space and be able to have those in-person conversations. It's just being able to meet CryptoKeeper. That was great. That was at the Diplo party. Me and you were,
yo,
that was
so
pretty
Keeper, this is the first time I'm saying this. I thought you were
Oh boy.
I thought you were Bit Boy's bodyguard.
Yeah. That's super funny, dude.
I thought you were Bit Boy's bodyguard the whole night. Like, I'm gonna
have to pass that along to him and tell him he owes me a couple ends, because me and Ben have been close for a while now, and we actually had a business meeting while we were down there, and so we ended up just hanging out just a lot, and that's super funny though.
I think I owe Big Boy a Gucci shirt, because evidently. Yeah, your boy Adam keeps saying that I hit his arm and spilled the liquor on Bit Boy's polo. I don't know, man. It was a nice night, Diplo.
I don't even remember half of that night, man.
Dude, everybody was on top of each other though. It was like me
and Blood were posted up on the top of a couch.
I know. You guys had your little side area up on the couch. Yeah, I saw that.
VIP in the VIP, like super VIP.
Yeah.
But no, you guys can catch first. Let's get Rice up here. Let me see. Let's get Rice up here. You can catch Rice on Twitter, right there, RiceTVx. Check him out, and then you can catch my man.
Hey, notice that it says you might like NFT.com.
Wow. What about that? How about that?
Works.
Yeah, I guess so. And then my man, Crypto Debate CryptoKeeper. Check him out on Twitter. He's on. You're on TikTok too, huh?
Yeah. Yep. It's the _CryptoKeeper, and there's a fake account of mine that has like 42,000 people because TikTok's so bad about that. But I've got like 55K, so that's what
you started out with TikTok before you did
YouTube,
Caitlin
right? Just say he's actually my bodyguard.
That's
great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Did you start out on TikTok before YouTube, Keeper?
Yep, for sure.
That's what I was thinking.
We just started our YouTube like not that long ago. Our YouTube a couple months ago. I mean, it's pretty new. Yeah.
How long you been doing the TikTok thing?
The end of May of last year. So
damn, Rice, we need to get on TikTok, man.
Yeah,
I'm going to.
Yeah, I think we need to get on.
Well, I mean, I just haven't been like utilizing it, man. I got to get people to help me out because I don't have time to do what I'm already doing. So, and I know the TikTok videos are really short. I just need to like. What I've been doing is slowing down since I got back from Miami, so I can one restructure my days and then also work on some things in the back end.
Right.
I've been really, I'm sure a lot of people who are content creators can relate. Sometimes we end up.
So you and I, Rice, we've known Ben since 17 early days, like when he had as many subs as
us.
As us now.
Yeah.
But what I say all that to say, like he went over to TikTok. He was the one that like beachheaded that strategy, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe he wasn't, but I just know I remember in the chat room. I remember in the chat room it was like, "Yo, I'm gonna do TikTok," and we're like,
"Yeah,
okay."
Why? Wendy started doing it, and a lot of others. I mean, it's. I've heard some people say they've had some really good effect from it. What's really interesting is this actually makes me feel old. Going and talking to younger people, and they're like, "YouTube still exists."
I've heard people say that too.
You gotta be kidding me.
No,
like YouTube is still.
Are we the Facebook? Are we the like? Is YouTube the Facebook of our generation?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Because
I hope not.
Well, also too, like
I like long form content, man.
Well, that's why YouTube, I think, incorporated the whole shorts aspect because younger people's attention span isn't like older people.
But let me say this though, with
more and more
with TikTok, the one thing that I will tell you guys, like you can build up a following pretty quickly, and that's great. It's hard to convert the movement from TikTok over to YouTube.
I'm sure,
absolutely, because TikTok fights it. So I can be on a live stream. I have 100 people in there, and I'm talking about whatever. And literally, the moment I say, "Hey, make sure to check out Debate Crypto on YouTube," I'm not kidding you. Almost immediately, it'll drop by like 50%. It literally, they just absolutely. You talk about any other places, they do not like it.
Try a sign and see if the algorithm picks up writing. Like maybe hold up something that says, "Check out my YouTube channel."
That's not a terrible idea. I could put it as a green screen too. That's not a terrible idea.
Yeah, the algo most likely won't get that part.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Just thinking about it. So we've been shooting the breeze here for a second, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get into the topics for tonight. I got my man Crypto Damu in the building, but I don't know. It looks like his video is frozen or something. I don't know if what's going on. So we'll wait to see if his video comes up, and then we'll bring him in.
We got an autographed NFT request, Blood.
I saw that. I saw that. That's hilarious.
Wonder if we should it was people's autographs. So that people start stealing people's signatures.
It was crazy though. Like you guys talking about how many people came up to you and stuff. I actually despise that type of stuff. I hate
you don't like it?
I hate it.
Because why?
I hate knowing that people know me and I don't know them.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They can kind of be looking at you, watching you, and you just don't really know.
Whatever.
Like,
exactly.
I get
it's
that.
very. And shout out to my man Rice Rice is really like my brother, ladies and gentlemen. He was about to get in a street fight with me with this random cat in Wynwood. It was about to go down
in Miami
Miami.
Did you schedule him to get on your show?
I talked to him yesterday. He'll be coming on my show. Okay. It's a crazy story, ladies and gentlemen. You got to stay tuned to hear that one.
I want to hear that.
But that was crazy. Let me see if my man Dr. Littlejohn is frozen. I don't know what's going on there. All of our heads went like that.
Frozen sideways. Now, Blood, what you were saying here. So I used to sing in bands, and having people come up and watch your band, you see the people. So I get that disconnect. And for, as a musician, I was in a sense expecting it. So it fed my ego. With the other way for me is it's humbling for me to know that I'm reaching these people. I get the fact that, you don't know the people, but knowing that you're having an effect on individuals. Now, I'm going to show you a picture that I got from one of the people who I felt the picture of that
the three of us, right?
The two gentlemen that came up.
Yeah.
And we took the one picture. I didn't think they fit our demographic personally. And then I'll show you this other picture.
Why didn't they fit your demographic? I don't know,
just a little bit older than us, and I don't feel like I connect with older people. I feel like I'm good with my
I definitely didn't think they would fit my demographic, middle-aged white men. But
so I'm in line to get food, and this lady hears me talking, and apparently she had seen me on BitBoy, and it literally is not somebody who I would have thought would have been a fan of my channel.
Right.
But she's a fan of the channel. So that's the kind of stuff that really surprised me. That's
cool.
That makes all this worthwhile. Yeah, no, totally. She's a retired doctor.
I just told Ben I just texted Ben and told him that you thought I was his bodyguard. He's laughing.
What's up, Sean?
Yeah, man. So tonight, ladies and gents, we got a good one. You mentioned NFT really quickly. I just want to point this out you know, this is pretty interesting. It's a project that I'm covering. I think Rice is as well. I'm not getting paid to say this right now, but I'm bringing this up because I think this is a huge project. It feels like crypto.com for all NFTs. Over again.
Yeah, for NFTs.
But for NFTs.
And a way for people to get in early. And they're being very supportive of communities. They're doing sponsored marketing content, and they want to make sure that, you know, everybody knows that it is sponsored content. They're being very upfront. They're being 100% transparent. They've got a great team. They want to be the central hub for all things NFTs, and they want to do it multi-chain.
So NFT.com, I interviewed the CEO yesterday or the day before. His video will be dropping tomorrow or Monday. Excellent story. I want you guys to definitely check that out. He has a crazy great story. But he told me, he revealed on the video how much he paid for NFT.com. You have to watch that video to check out.
I'm gonna guess it was a pretty penny.
It was, but in comparison to, let's say, like Voice.com, did you ever hear about that acquisition?
Didn't he buy it late 2019 or early 2022?
18.
Oh, you bought it in 2018?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, and he still paid a pretty penny then.
Yeah, he paid a pretty penny.
He didn't buy it recently. He's been sitting on this domain.
Yeah. That's something. Yeah, so
18.
They have a parent company. That, let me see if I have it pulled up on my other browser. Yeah.
So he bought it in 18, but Keeper, if you compare it to like Voice.com, which is what Block One bought from, ironically enough, we're going to be talking about Michael Saylor tonight. Mm-hmm. They purchased it from Michael Saylor for $30 million.
Well, he's also got CBDC.com, 1-800-Bitcoin.com. So there's other sites too, in addition to NFT.com.
He's a serial squatter.
He's one of the founders of Hedera Hashgraph.
Yep.
As well as the majority of the team are founders of Hedera Hashgraph, but they're not necessarily utilizing the Hedera technology starting out.
Which is interesting to me.
Well, it makes sense because Ethereum, if you're going to be NFT, the focus on NFTs right now is Ethereum. So it makes sense that you're going to be Ethereum focused and then adding in those cross-chain elements because they want to have this be a marketplace for all chains. So eventually you might see Wax, you may see some Cardano. There's certain projects I'm just not going to mention, but you might see Wax, you might see Cardano, you might see some Ethereum, you might see some Tezos based NFTs. So.
Yeah, NFT.com, ladies and gentlemen, like for real, I highly suggest you go out there and try to get on that whitelist because it'll be like it's literally going to be the Google of
out till Monday or till tomorrow Monday. People like Tuesday is the blind auction, the 26th. So and there's only going to be like. What is the blind auction? Let me look at the website and then they're going to have a public sale or the public auction on May the 2nd. And they're both at 7:00 p.m. But on the blind auction for the whitelist, and you can join it on NFT.com. You just got to follow on Twitter, join their Discord, enter your email and either your ENS address or your ERC20 address, your Ethereum address. And there's going to be 3,000 keys that are going to be available. You can mint 2 of your own domains off those keys.
Off the one key, right?
There's only going to be 10,000 keys total. 3,000 for the blind auction on the 26th of April at 7:00 p.m. Eastern time, and then the public auction is going to be May the 2nd, 7:00 p.m. and that's going to be 6,750. And then they had 250 reserved for team and marketing and stuff like that for like Me and Blood and all the other different content creators, totaling up to 10,000. And that puts you as an early member of the community. And since we're doing this and it's not really technically part of what they're doing, we can say some things that they couldn't necessarily say in the interviews. So there is going to be a DAO, which means there's probably going to be some sort of airdrop to holders of things like these Genesis keys. So being a part of the community, and I'm just speculating, but being a part of the community, now the DAO I'm not speculating about. They want to be community driven and they want to turn this thing into a DAO. So with that being said, there's going to have to be governance. And usually
this is deep, man. Keeper definitely look into it, bro.
I'm gonna reach out.
As far as trying to get one of those Genesis keys and then maybe even promoting it as well. Let's get Littlejohn back in. Crypto Damu in the building. I'm sorry, Dr. Dr. Littlejohn. I don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
Can we just call him Dr. Littlejohn?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What's going
I
on,
mean,
my
you
friend?
know, it could be either DR, it could be Doc, it could be LJ. I don't mind. I've been
You met
called
in
worse.
Miami, right?
You know,
United
yeah,
North
yeah.
America.
Yeah, he was down in
North
Miami.
American.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Miami and in the North American Bitcoin conference
Okay.
and
Yep.
That's right.
2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So he
unconfiscatable. I'm trying to
unconfiscate.
I'm trying to hit as many as possible this year, man.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Littlejohn is one of our correspondents on CBTV. So make sure you guys show him some love when you see his videos come through. But
That's right.
yeah, let's get right into it. Where you guys want to start? I mean, we got Michael Saylor, we got Bitcoin falling, data searches falling on Bitcoin. How y'all want to start this live stream tonight?
We could start off broad with the kind of Bitcoin, right? Just kind of ease into the heavier, the heavy hitting topics. I don't know.
So, okay, sounds good to me. So it looks like this is an article out of CoinDesk that talks about retail interest in Bitcoin dwindling, as far as that's what Google searches data's saying here. How do you guys feel about this? I know my man Littlejohn is a Bitcoin. That boy gonna die for Bitcoin.
Maxi.
I don't know. I want to ask you that. Are you a Maxi?
I'm a shitcoin minimalist.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
See, my thing is this. This is my thing. My thing is this. Bitcoin is the money, and altcoins, or that technology, is the tool sets for individuals to pursue whatever harebrained ideals they may have. And if those ideals come to fruition, so be it. If not, we learn something. I'm big on personal freedom. And so if I have an ideal, you have an ideal, who am I to tell you that you can't make an attempt at making that ideal a reality? And so the altcoins and the cryptocurrencies, that's that lab. You know what I'm saying? Remember, laboratories, they do thousands, if not millions, of experiments with already the anticipation that most of those experiments will not turn out. But they learn something from that. But they know out of those hundreds or thousands or whatever, there'll be that one or that two, or once again, they'll learn something. So that's kind of how I put the cryptocurrency. Now, when it comes to my digital store of wealth, where I don't want nobody fucking with my energy that I've stored, then it's going to be in Bitcoin, because once again, coming out the streets, I respect the fact that there's no head to chop off. If I beef with you, and you don't know where I live, you don't know my family, you don't know where I work, then the beef means nothing.
That's true.
You might as well focus on people that you can go get at.
Right.
But if you know where I live, then you can come holler. And so once again, I ultimately respect the fact that there's no heads to cut off. And then not only on top of that, look at where Bitcoin's come, considering that we don't know its founder. It doesn't have a CEO, a CFO. It doesn't have a marketing department.
So let me ask you this though, Crypto Damu, is this, you say there's no head to cut off, but can we say that for Ethereum? I mean, they have a foundation let's say the government's come after the foundation and they shut the foundation down. The protocol is still out there. It's open source. The community can.
That's true to a degree, but now what happens if they come and knock on some of those people's doors at night when they're asleep with their families and say, I don't want to chop your head off. I just want you to subvert some things. I want you to, that's kind of where it's kind of iffy, but
you can say that. You can say that about
devs to some degree. I can say that about devs to some degree, true, but
right.
We don't have an ultimate, completely decentralized system. But the very closest thing that we do have to that is the one that I want to put all of mine in. Now, if I choose to take a little bit and sprinkle on those others, fine. If they work out, they work out. If they don't, no big deal. I still got my goal.
Rice, what were you about to say?
I was just going to mention, I kind of got sidetracked. It was, I totally got sidetracked. What I was going to say.
Keeper, you want to chime in on that before we touch on the article?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I would also argue that you could say that about Bitcoin too. These mining pools have a lot of power and a lot of ability to make things happen. So I think with the right, I guess what I'm saying is I don't think that there's anything that's fully decentralized. And LJ, it sounded like you were going there with that. Like it's the closest that we currently have, and it also obviously. We've got that 21 million cap. The halving cycles just really push for a, for up and to the right over the long term. Like there's just a lot of good things about Bitcoin. I think that the article that we were starting to talk about it. So, okay. Are people talking less and less about Bitcoin? Well, sure they are, because let's look at it. It's like, at the end of the day, first of all, it's expensive. As when new people get in, they don't have the fundamental understanding that, if something moves 5%, it moves 5%. They don't look
regardless of how much you have.
Exactly,
right?
Regardless of how much you have, if it moves
right.
Now, it does take a lot more capital inflow to move Bitcoin 5% than it's going to move some crap coin 5%, no doubt. But the reality is, people look at it and say, oh, it's so expensive. I'm not going to get involved in that because I can't make as much money. And so there's so many options now. There's so much marketing now. Nobody is marketing Bitcoin, right? And so people are moving towards what's being pushed, what's being marketed, what's the newest, hottest trend. I mean, we live in a world of social media. We live in a world where people can just talk. Like if the four of us started our own little mini marketing campaign on some crap coin and we really pushed hard with it, we have a big enough following in the space that we could pump a small project. There's no doubt about it.
All the channels over 100,000 subscribers are able to do that. It's unfortunate. I remember what I was going to say, and it was something to do with the South Korea Ethereum developer that got arrested. So being known isn't always necessarily a good thing. And then I was going to reference Dr. Littlejohn, who's not in the group now. There he is. About the shitcoin minimalist. You've been to Miami so many times. Are you hanging out with Tone Bays now? Because that's
his boy. No, that's
Tone Bays. Hey, I didn't hang out with Tone Bays in my city, man. I didn't pick him up from the airport and hung out with him, man.
Yeah. So what you got? Yeah. So for real, that's his boy.
So now what?
Now what? Rice.
Push that. No, I'm just saying he's one of the first people to push the whole shitcoin minimalist thing because
right. But for a long time,
because
I did not.
They would never let him speak at Bitcoin conferences. Now, and that's a Maxi Ran conference, and they wouldn't allow Tone Bays to even speak at a Bitcoin conference, and he's applied, but they won't let him speak.
Yeah. You know, I would say this for Tone. Tone, when I first started watching him, he made me delve deeper into Bitcoin and not get so caught up in all of the shiny things. Because you get bombarded with, when I first got in this space, it was always the new coin. This is the new thing. This is and I fell for a lot of that stuff.
Yep.
Should beginners start with Bitcoin? If we're onboarding someone into the crypto space, should they start with Bitcoin or no?
They should start with this.
They definitely shouldn't start with Shiba Inu.
They should start educating themselves. This is what they should start doing. They should start with education and then go from there. That's what I really believe.
That is one of the smartest things I've heard. Start with education. Educate yourself. That's the best thing that you can do. That's the best investment that you can make is in yourself.
I don't know why I keep.
What do you keep doing?
I got a bad signal.
Oh, we see you.
Yeah, you're with us here.
We hear you. We see you. And your TenPound is in the building today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yo, we'll be back.
Is that a scarf you're wearing?
What is? Yeah, is that a scarf?
Bro. It's just a long hoodie. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Trayvon Martin. Okay.
Yo, but underneath it, you already know, man. I'm rocking the Black Panther. It is what it is.
What is that? Wait a minute.
Are you the Black Panther? What the hell?
He stays ready.
He's got some Iron Man armor.
Bro, is that a bodyguard?
He's ready.
Nah, bro. It's not gonna feel pain digitally. Like whenever I'm in the metaverse. That's all.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man.
Show the audience that one more again, man. I gotta see.
It's fine.
No homo. No homo.
What?
It does look like some
tag right there. It's tag
some Black Panther shit, though, man.
It's a haptic suit.
Wow, my man TenPound. That's why I have TenPound on. He's always giving us the latest and greatest in the metaverse. TenPound, what's your take on, Google saying here that Bitcoin searches are dwindling. So what they say here is it reached in mid 2022 levels as of April 22nd with readings of 17. So that's just kind of their index, right? So it was that from the week of April 17th through the 23rd. This is relatively high drop from what it was in 2021, which was a reading of 76. So we've seen a big drop in the search for Bitcoin on Google. Now, it doesn't mean the number of searches. It just means in relative standpoint, and relatively speaking, against other keywords. They said here that people are starting to look at tokens like, Solana, Avalanche, Layer 1 solutions other than Bitcoin and DeFi. So is this a trend that is warranted?
I think people are not necessarily searching for terms like Bitcoin anymore. They're probably searching for terms such as NFT and crypto for the most part. Or correlating to exchanges, searching for exchanges. Unless just all search terms have just dwindled in activity, then that's obviously a red herring, and that's a sign that blood might be in the street soon, because less popularity means less money, and for the most part, less attention sometimes means that the builders come out to play, and that's where the true innovation happens.
So I turn my speakers down so I can't hear myself as much.
Yeah, I hear you. You're
okay,
good.
so
we can hear you.
So basically what I've been looking at is, it seems like when we had our double top, if people want to call it that, the second top that we experienced around the 69K mark was not retail driven at all. The retail had already been gone, in my opinion. We were already starting to dwindle down. That was all institutions, in my opinion, and we're in a bear market. And when we see these bear markets take place, you start seeing a drop in the searches in general. But I do agree with what TenPound said. I mean, you're getting a lot more verbiage going out that's not just straight Bitcoin or Ethereum or XRP. You're hearing about these other cryptocurrencies, and you're also hearing the term cryptocurrencies being used a lot more as well.
I think that's a good thing, bro, because I'm so sick of Bitcoin dictating the price of all these other great projects that are out here.
That won't stop for a while.
That's not going to change anytime soon.
You don't think so?
But as far as people referring, when a lot of like the mainstream news, it used to be when they were talking about Bitcoin, they were referring to cryptocurrency. Now they distinguish it, and I find that to be another sign that we are going more and more mainstream.
I think when we see the decoupling from Bitcoin and the altcoins is actually when I will say, okay, the crypto markets have matured. That's what I think.
100% agree.
Honestly,
I agree with that. I don't know that it's going to happen anytime soon. I do believe that it's going to happen, but for right now, what I think the crypto markets essentially are almost as if let's say the crypto market as a whole was a stable coin and it has an actual physical backing. It's backed by Bitcoin right now.
Right,
that's essentially what the whole market tends to do. It does fluctuate with and around, and I don't know. I think it is going to happen. I think ETH is going to need to flip Bitcoin, even if it's just for a short period of time. People realize, wait a minute, the utility does trump what Bitcoin
speculation.
Exactly. And I think when that happens, then maybe we'll move towards that. I think it's going to take time, though.
Blood, didn't you say before, and maybe it was on an episode of Around the Blockchain, about stable coins overtaking?
Yeah,
Bitcoin?
When he said that, I thought about it. I was like, actually, I think we're going to see stable coins flip Bitcoin's market cap before Ethereum.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see that. We're definitely going to see that. The UK government is pretty much set the catalyst in place for that to happen.
Yeah,
as long as the CBDCs aren't what steps in and takes place first, I freaking hope not. But yeah, I could see that.
So should we look at this article here, showing the data that Bitcoin searches are kind of dwindling? Is that a bad thing, or is that just it's just a trend in behavioral difference, a shift in behavioral differences for people getting into crypto or that are already in crypto? Is that, how should we look at this?
The shifting thing makes sense. I mean, especially when we see like market cycles. When we're in a bull cycle, we're definitely seeing a lot more search activity happening, and when we're in bear cycles, we're seeing a lot less. We're also seeing a lot more projects building during bear markets as well. Yeah. So there are the benefits that come, and these are the best times. This is when like these periods of times that we're experiencing when people lose interest because the prices aren't going up are the most beneficial times for people to be getting involved, because you can invest in these projects at lower prices. You can dollar cost average in and not be buying in on the hype, because a lot of people got their introduction over the past 2 years of cryptocurrency between Doge and Shiba Inu. And the majority of people who bought in at Doge and Shiba Inu bought in on top. So these are the money making opportunities when it comes to investing. And this is not financial advice. It's just normal rhetoric that makes sense. If you just think about it, when the prices are down, you want to buy at your lowest possible entry point that you can buy any investment at. Is the idea.
Don't chase candles.
But I'm gonna tell you what else. I'm gonna tell you what else. When we're talking about Google searches, let's look at it for what it is. The crypto markets as a whole recently have been on a downtrend since November. Not a full-on downtrend. Obviously, we've had some jumps and leaps and whatever, but we have been in a downtrend. But NFTs haven't. And so that seems to be the metaverse, the NFTs we have. And what I've noticed, and it's crazy to me, it blows my mind. There are a lot of people in the NFT space that don't actually know the crypto game. They know enough to like
really,
like literally they get in.
That's
they know
good.
Enough to, hey, how do I pay for this? Oh, okay, I got to buy this thing called ETH. But if you ask them to like explain to you what ETH is or how it operates or anything further than just, hey, I pay for this here, I go to this website, and then oh yeah, I had to set up something called MetaMask. Like they don't genuinely know. We have a lot of newer people on our YouTube channel that ultimately, we're talking to about that with our NFT project coming out. It's crazy the amount of people that don't genuinely understand.
It's scary. It's scary. It's actually terrifying. You know, I run a community of right now, like it's like a small little tight knit community. It's a niche community. It's sort of like a side project of mine, if you will. And I've been teaching them Tezos. I've been teaching them, Temple Wallet on Tezos, MetaMask on Ethereum, Polygon, Avalanche, all the other side chains, and even Solana. I've really just been like giving them crash courses. That way they understand what these networks do, and also talking to them about like the fundamentals of the network. Because a lot of them like are just interested in NFTs. They don't understand what a blockchain does or how it actually works. So like I've been trying to like counteract that whole speculative, just dive into the currency because you want to buy this project because your favorite artist is in this project, or something along the lines of, we need to like teach these people that like NFTs are cool. Altcoins can be a great way to make passive income and sometimes even supplement your full-time income. But like you should understand like, the fundamental nature of the networks and not just get into it because of the hype.
I tend to disagree with you there, TenPound.
What?
Because listen though, does anyone know how the internet works? Do they know TCP IP protocols?
No.
And so man, they don't understand.
Do you understand how television works? How does a camera work? I'm an
AV nerd. I'm an AV technician. I worked corporate AV for the longest time. I know the answers to all those questions. But sure, the average person probably won't care. But like in order to
should they care? Should they even care?
They shouldn't. But
what
here's
I'm saying.
The thing. Whenever you're building a community of super users, you should want them to get involved at a fundamental level, not just at a speculative level. Like, let's be real here. Like, in order to really grasp at what this technology is capable of doing to liberate people, like literally, like you have to know like the fundamentals. You can't just skip straight to the one like fringe niche of the network just because that's what's popular. That's what all these journalists are writing about. That's what your favorite celebrity is into. That's not the way to do it. That's just not the way to do it.
I don't think that they need to know. So, for example, most people, if you ask them about NFTs that actually are into NFTs, and then you bring up IPFS and you try to talk to them about IPFS, I don't think they need to understand that about how the NFT actually doesn't sit on chain technically. Like, I don't know. I don't think you need to know any of that. I don't think that it matters at all, because you're right. Most people aren't going to understand that. Where I do think it matters, though, is if they have a fundamental understanding of the movement that is crypto, the movement that is crypto, and the different niches of that movement. That's where I think we start to get the people in that ultimately maybe are a little bit older or otherwise wouldn't be involved, that are all about just our normal fiat currency and this, that, and the third, when they understand that this is a movement, not just
I can't
a
hear you guys
subset.
for some reason.
What?
Dr. Littlejohn is back in. You say he can't hear us. That's all. Yeah, but
Right.
you were making some really good points. You were making some great points. Absolutely. I don't think you should black people's head off about how to set up the, your own IPFS node. That way you can pin the data, yourself. But I think it'd be cool to teach somebody how to do that. That way them and their friends can make their own project that's truly immutable and not rely on Pinata or some shit like that. Like literally it's these little conversations that whenever you're teaching people, like they could take some of these concepts and run with it and build their own project and change their lives and change the lives of their families as well. Like,
but the thing is, the thing I push back on is that I don't think that's what mass adoption looks like, though. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm with you. At the core, I agree with you, but I don't think that's what mass adoption looks like.
Real quick, man. Cryptoversity said something about you can be buying the dip, or you can also be buying just before the confirmation of a bear market. And I will say that's why I always encourage people to not just buy in at one price. DCA, dollar cost average. And if you want to get an idea just with Bitcoin, go to DCABTC.com. It's a dollar cost average calculator for Bitcoin. It will let you know if you invested $5 every week 3 years ago, how much US dollars you would have invested, how much that Bitcoin would be, and how much that percentage increase would be there. So the dollar cost average strategy over a long term is always a winning strategy. And then he also mentioned the thing about, I think the market needs honesty and clarity on the difference between NFTs and NFT JPEGs. And this is something that I've been talking a lot about more recently, especially like private conversations, is the fact that the NFTs do not really have the data on the blockchain, and that they're being referenced to like the IPFS or some sort of server cloud service or something to that effect. I would love to see us improve upon that, because I feel like the NFTs that people own today, they're not going to own forever. And that's really disheartening when you think about people spending over hundreds of thousands of dollars for some of these NFTs that are really just proof of IPFS or proof of cloud service or whatever it might be, where there are some actual chains, not going to mention them, that do have the data actually on the blockchain. So
here's the thing though. Rice, for the most part, some people realize that IPFS isn't necessarily the best option, and some people choose to use AWS. But I've been pointing people in
AWS.
Seriously, some people do use AWS.
But it should be disclosed. People should know what they're buying.
It should be disclosed. Yeah, 100%.
Most people think these NFTs they're going to have forever, like the Bored Ape Yacht Club. They think they're going to exist forever, and they're not.
So Bored Ape, they're not distributed on the IPFS.
I'm not sure, but that's not a permanent. It's not permanent like that.
IPFS would be technically.
No,
right?
the metadata is locked. The metadata is definitely locked. So just a heads up, and it is nodal based. So it's on IPFS. Okay. But here's the thing, right? A lot of these projects nowadays are deploying on Arweave. Like Arweave is a permanent web. For people that don't want to run their own node, they just want to keep a token in the wallet that references to their storage.
Cool solutions that I'm not aware of. I definitely got to get you on my show so we can talk more about this kind of stuff.
For sure, man. Like I've helped the Grammy-nominated artists deploy the artwork on Arweave, man. So man, I'm open and available. Well, we can chat. I'm about it.
Cool.
Dope. You're coming on my show then too.
Okay.
There you go. Let's see if
that's what I love about these
Crypto
conversations.
Damu is back in the building.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Sounds like your internet's running on a Bitcoin network.
Nah,
3 transactions per second up in this joint. Nice and slow.
I couldn't get my computer camera to work, because I had changed some stuff, so I'm using my phone, man.
Oh, gotcha.
Like so, a Freddie Ricky song in there.
Hey, I want to say something about the NFT. This is what I believe about the. I think the technology is viable, just like a lot of the technology that comes out of the crypto space. I think we often initially give things too much hype, and a lot of people equate the NFTs in the same sense that we equate money. I look at NFTs, they're no different than, exchanging any collectibles, prior to digital collectibles. They had a place, they had value, and there was always markets for them, but it wasn't the general exchange mechanism for our general commerce.
No, but the rich people, they do use art as a store of wealth. So the NFTs could be a replacement for that as well. And this has even been done for money laundering too, because it's real easy to take a painting on a private jet and give it to somebody. So same concept with the NFTs, I believe. But you're making some really good points.
Now you know what I do think. Because once again, I look at they've never given the small man or the regular man. He's never been privy. So when I look and see they're bombarding us with a lot of the NFT stuff, I always have to ask myself, what are they leaving out? And so I think the NFTs. I'm waiting on gaming. I'm waiting on the general gaming community to really embrace NFTs, and I think that's a viable place out amongst other places for that technology to really, really work. And right now I've read some stuff about part of the reason why, the general gaming community hasn't embraced NFTs the way the crypto community has. But I think once they break that wall, I think that'll be big.
They don't like it, man. You're right. You're right, Littlejohn.
I don't like it because if I'm paying $40 or $35 for a game, and then you're going to turn around and tell me I have to buy additional stuff in the game. You know what I'm saying? Then that's part of the issue.
Yeah. But it's not just that. It's some of them realize that you don't need NFTs to do exactly what these people are saying that you want them to be used for. Like, for the most part, the gaming community is right in that sense. You don't really need the NFTs to do what you're projecting that you're trying to do with them. Like, the corporations are spinning it the wrong way, and they're confusing the general populace.
Like the ICO bubble all over again, but just with they changed the 3-letter words.
Yeah, they did.
ICO to NFT.
We've had how many?
They were doing IDOs too.
Oh yeah, and IDEs and
IDEs.
FUC.
Now here's the thing: NFTs in the metaverse.
And three.
Go ahead,
every cycle we get this new thing, and it gets hyped up. And once again, they're all viable tools to this greater thing we're working on. But once again, they just get hyped up and then they settle, and then we go into the real use case. ICOs, that tech is still there, and that possibility is still there. It's just not, what it was during the ICO boom. And we can look and, I can just name, BitConnect and all that different stuff, and high yield investment products and all that. Each cycle we had that, and they changed the name. The tech was a little bit different, but it's the same get down, man.
Look at what my boy Sean C from New World Crypto says. Pull that up on there. I think this is so freaking true. We are in this fad phase where everybody is flexing, but it is, listen, we're going to have IDs as our NFTs. We're going to have real estate transactions, the happening as NFTs. We are moving that direction. We're just not there yet.
I disagree. I disagree fundamentally. I disagree fundamentally because you see some platforms that have already built out solid utility, including my platform. I've got meta keys to a virtual digital world that's running and projected right now that you can host events in and galas in. It's fully multiplayer, right? Yeah. You can run this in parallel. And mind you, I'm not the first person to do this. People have been tokenizing Minecraft worlds, man. NFT worlds is just Minecraft. It's a Minecraft server. People have been tokenizing
world.
World. Hey, dude, man,
there's tons of utility.
Shout out to my crew over there at Band Royalty. They're doing it. They just launched their marketplace actually, and they've got it all set up where you can buy full length
Is there any big hip hop artists behind this?
No, I don't think so yet.
Because there's a couple of music NFT platforms, and I wasn't sure. And I think like Busta Rhymes might have something or have some involvement in one.
So the interesting thing about this one, not trying to shield here, but they bought catalogs from artists. So they bought them to receive the royalties, and then they transfer some of those royalties over to you, the end user that holds the token, the NFT.
That's cool.
So it's pretty.
Now,
Yeah,
what would be cool? You mentioned
I definitely like that use case.
Imagine fractionalizing ownership.
I definitely like that
of
use case.
catalogs.
You know.
So
Yeah.
the possibilities with NFTs are like, to me, just endless. You know, and I just posted up, but once we get past this art bubble, it's just the possibilities are really endless. And I think there's a long future for what NFTs will represent.
I think we're already past the art bubble, crypto, Rice Crypto. You want to know why, bro? Because for the most part, the UK government announced that they have plans to open a mint for governmental NFTs. That's a number one indicator that NFTs are moving past hype speculation and directly into the public sector. That's literally proof.
I wasn't aware of that, and that is pretty cool. But I still don't feel like the art bubble is yet over. I still feel like we're at the very end of the art bubble phase.
I don't think it is. Look, man, like I said, I can be in public, and once again, I run across people all the time, man, and I talk to them about crypto, and once again, you know, they first thing they come at me, it was NFTs, this, that, you know, and so and these are people that, if it wasn't for NFTs, of course, wouldn't even be in the space, wouldn't even be thinking about it, and don't even see it from a monetary aspect. They see it from a completely different aspect. And that, I think that's part of the bubble, you know, that because that diverts people away from, you know, the bigger tenets of what crypto is really about.
Well, can we call this what it is? It's not a bubble because majority of the population isn't involved in it.
I'm with you right there, TenPound. Yeah, this is not a bubble at all.
This is the damn echo chamber, bro.
Come on, man.
You know how TenPound do.
You're like emotionally invested
echo chamber, bro. Yo, I'm telling you, man. Yo, look at moonbirds. Moonbirds. Yo, bro, look at moonbirds, man. Moonbirds crossed a 40 East floor, bro. Like in the span of like a couple of weeks, dude. Straight up 40 East floor. Yo, and check out why.
Bored Apes.
Yeah, dude, that's the reason why. Big VC money. It's an echo chamber. It's just literally a bunch of rich people at the top saying, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. I'm throwing a bunch of money at this to make it happen. So it's going to happen. It's an echo chamber.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, and these are all definitely great points. That's why I like having conversations with a variety of different people who know their shit, because then we can challenge what we think we know and just be able to have an open discussion and learn things that we don't think about.
Yeah, I think the mainstream ultimately is going to be when when we're already moving into where the NFTs, like our project that's coming out, like utility. We're moving towards that. The gaming utility, like how can I actually, you know, make money with this? Like we're already going there, and that's happening. But where I think it's going to be just full on, just everyday use is when you have people doing transactions as NFT, but they don't even understand it as being an NFT. It's just, hey, this is just how we do this transaction. I think that is going to be the point at which we're just full on in it. But I still think we're a little ways away from that.
All right, so let's talk about. I heard Rice talk about we're in the bear market. He said that so confidently. He was just like, "Yeah, we're in the bear market." So, What?
At this point, really,
I agree with you. You know, I'm
speculating. I'm speculating. It's what it feels like.
Okay.
Because
I agree.
It feels like maybe April, May, June of 2018. Is the vibe that I've gotten.
I agree with you.
Do we have lengthening cycles? Do we have super cycles? Are we going to have these little bear bull markets that just keep, you know, like
within a super cycle? Right, we're still in the upward trajectory in the super cycle.
I think we're more sideways. I think it's more sideways. I mean, of course, there's bearish, you know, sentiments and bearish aspects to it, but I mean, there were times in Bitcoin bear markets or crypto bear markets where I had that question. Now I don't question. I really don't question.
Yeah, but the governments are just beginning.
Direction,
we'll see what happens with regulation, because that's going to really overplay a lot of the narrative that's happening with the mainstream.
Well, so on my end, because I'm a trader, I look at kind of a more macro 30,000, feet view of, or foot view of this whole game. And, I brought this article up for us to take a look at about, the NASDAQ. So many of you may know or may not know, but Bitcoin is highly correlated with the NASDAQ. Okay. So I'm talking about over 80% almost. So with that being said, if you believe that we're in a peak in earnings on the equity side, if you believe we're in a peak in easy money, if you believe we're in a peak of low interest rates, then that means as this thing rolls over, the equities markets roll over, and this is what this guy is talking about, deja vu all over again. What we saw in 2000, in the early 2000.com bubble, we're seeing again in this 2022 dispensation, in this dispensation. This means, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, that your cryptos are going to be slaughtered. I hate to say everything. Slaughter. Everything. Slaughter. Now, does the utility still stay there? Absolutely. I'm not talking about people get all emotional when I say these types of things. Bitcoin is still Bitcoin. It's still decentralized. You're going to be able to do what, move $1 billion across the world in a matter of 15 minutes. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, and people say one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. Nigga, please. If you got $1 million in Bitcoin and you lose 90% of it, one Bitcoin is not one Bitcoin to you anymore.
Not at that point. You're right.
But how many times, we've had this before. I mean, we've had these cycles. Like, there's people that have predicted that we need to wash out, a gang of these.
But okay, projects. The difference is go back to that chart, Blood. Go back to the other chart where it shows.
Oh yeah, up here. Yeah.
So if you look from the deja vu moment with the .com bubble, everything from 2008 has been an uptrend, and all that.
But why?
It's been artificial printing of money.
Yes.
We had QE 1, 2, 3, then QE infinity.
Yep. So guess what we have to do, Rice? We have to revert back to the mean. We have to revert back to and reverting back to the mean means probably down here somewhere where it's just I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
And do you think
I love this chart.
Do you think the world powers are ready to do that?
No, bro. I don't think the superstars are ready for it either, bro. If you think about it, a lot of people are hanging their hat on the store.
LJ, don't give the powers to be too much credit. Listen, we can't. They can't control everything now.
We are looking at the fucking crash of our entire fiat system happening. That's what we are witnessing. We are witnessing the end of everything. Now, where we are with the monetary system, I feel like I said this on Around the Blockchain this past Thursday with Blood. I feel like the commodities are going to do very well in 2023 and 2024. Bitcoin and crypto may take a hit initially as the market takes a hit, but then I feel like it's going to rebound. It will rebound.
Yes. I have to say that too, because people get on me about that. Yeah,
Bitcoin will perform just
and it will rebound better than any other asset class. It will rebound.
Gold and silver are going to perform well. They have proven themselves throughout history, and they will perform themselves well. And the reason why I'm saying that is you're seeing Russia now. They've had their rubles now gold backed, which is a big deal. That's affecting the markets. And also what you have going on with the Federal Reserve and their monetary policy, what's happening with Russia is completely going against everything that the European Central Bank and the World Economic Forum are trying to do with the globalization agenda. So some really interesting things happening. And I feel like people will start to look at Bitcoin as being one of those safe haven assets.
I just want the newcomers in the space to understand, because their cryptos will have you crying at night.
It will.
Okay. And you're in a fetal position. I'm not playing.
Right. Well, listen, Donald Trump.
Crips?
A lot of people love Donald
We'll
Trump.
We'll have you questioning everything you think you know.
Everything you know. But I'm just saying all that to forewarn people,
because
Rice.
there could be manipulation, and people need to know that these prices are being manipulated. And in 2017, in December 2017, when we hit 20K, right at 20K, that all-time high, is right when a little bit after that, not too long, is when the governments allowed for ETF trading to take place, which affected the price of Bitcoin. There were articles that came out that the Trump administration knew what the hell they were doing when they did it, and they did it on purpose to make the price of Bitcoin go down, because they did not want the price of Bitcoin keep going up. Because I will compare gold in this aspect. A rising price of gold is an indicator of a failing fiat currency. And I feel like Bitcoin is going to be that same indicator. So as Bitcoin,
it already is. I mean,
if you
I bought it at $89.
You look at a dollar to Bitcoin chart, 100%.
Yeah, it already is. But I'm just saying, in this cycle right now we're in, ladies and gentlemen, just be careful, because there is a lot of room to come back. That's all I'm saying. And
CB, are you going to tell these cats to sell their house, because the housing market is literally shit hot too? Like,
no,
I would.
No, you know why? And break that down. No, I'm gonna break that down, because you can have real estate and that be a productive asset if you don't live in it. If you have houses that you rent out, those are productive assets. That's great. If it goes down in price, okay, but people still need a roof over their head. Bitcoin is not a productive asset.
Well, hold on.
Most of these. Go ahead, Keeper.
Hold on. Okay, if you can actually step back and look at Bitcoin for what it has been doing versus what it will do, and you can actually use the word patience in your vocabulary and put in an amount of money that you are full on prepared to lose, that you are full on prepared to say, hey, where are we going to be in 2030? If you can do that, then Bitcoin makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense. But unfortunately, most people are in here today who's gotten in the last year or two. They want it's JG Wentworth, baby. They need their money. They need it now.
I agree. That's why they need to understand. That's why they need to understand the real purpose, the overall purpose of all this. And if you understand that, then you have a longer time horizon than just today or tomorrow. And once again, once you get in the space, then you can sprinkle a little bit. You know what I'm saying, to try to get that short-term gain, but be thinking about storing something that is going to be unconfiscatable, something that, they're not going to be able to turn off on you, and something that ultimately, okay, this is something that's never brought up. Okay, we got all these people who work for the system that are trying to do whatever they're trying to do to the greater population. Well, how many of those people sitting in those cubicles making all that money being scandalous aren't starting to think, well, what if I fall out of favor? I've done all this and I've accumulated this wealth. What if they stop liking me? How do I preserve? So technically, everybody up under the guy, up under number one, has to at some point in time be thinking about what happens if I fall out of favor and where do I store my money? And when they run through the list, there's only going to be a few things left. And so ultimately, I think even they have to have an exit strategy. I just think they know that the greater population is never going to go that direction, and the greater population is going to accept their CBDCs or whatever else they push.
Rice, what were you saying?
Oh, well, I do want to make a notation to the instant gratification thing. The instant G, like people, that is really a greed factor. And that's one of the things where people end up losing a lot of money. And when it comes to investments, prior to something like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, most people were doing their investments with a minimum of a 3-year waiting period. And then the other thing I was going to say is I thought you were 100 years old, Blood. How do you not have patience by now?
Man, I'm with Keeper, though, as far as, if you have a 10, 15 year, if I'm looking 10, 15 years out, even 5 years, honestly, 5, 6 years out, Bitcoin is yet again the best investment you can make. I just want to make that clear. But I'm just speaking because a lot of people, unfortunately, are right now. They saw their friends get paid in 17, so now they're here.
Think about it.
They're trying to get paid, man.
Yeah, instant gratification is the world we live in now, right? We were talking about
about TikTok, right?
TikTok, right? Why do people love TikTok? It's because it's short form. It's these hits of dopamine. And so what people are looking at is they're saying, hey, wait a minute. I don't want to work forever and actually spend time to make money and then be able to retire. I saw a tweet that said, your parents and your grandparents worked, had 401ks, saved, did all of these things to retire. The people now, they make a JPEG and they wake up the next day and they're freaking ready to retire. And it is that instant gratification. That's the world we live in. And so people get into crypto and say, hey, like for instance, Blood, they look at you and you just talked about, I bought an $89 Bitcoin, right? Well, that ultimately, when people hear that, they're like, oh shoot, well, I
gotta find the next 89. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I gotta find the next one of that. And so I just think that people just have the wrong mentality. They do have the wrong mindset. People want everything when they want it now, and that's it. And that's what needs to change.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree 100% with what you're saying, Keeper. But that's one thing that people should start working on changing about themselves.
100%. Oh yeah,
because that's one of the biggest problems that we have.
How can people work on changing that when as we just talked about, we're being socially engineered to be short term. TikTok, shorts.
That's why I put out videos.
Well, you know, that's why.
Fight the system. He's just fighting the system. That's it.
That's why I come with the premise of looking at it like this. You're a king. You're sitting on your throne, and you've got a store of gold behind you or up under you, and all day explorers come in looking for financing to go explore the new world. And as a king, you sprinkle them with some gold dust because you know 99% of those people aren't coming back. If one does come back, finds the new world, so be it. But whether they do or not, I still have my store of gold that it's in my basement or sitting up under me, behind me, or whatever. And that's how you maintain the wealth of the empire. And so you sprinkle. And so, you know, if we introduce people to kind of that concept, then they can take a little small portion and begin to experiment. But they know that they're DCAing into something that, you know what I'm saying, you know, overall is gonna turn out.
So, Keeper, we got Michael Saylor. I said on, I think, was it your show? I said Michael Saylor is going to get his nuts clipped.
Yeah, you did say that.
Listen, but I want to know from you guys, how do you feel about his very strong stance on Bitcoin and aggressive stance using publicly
traded company.
Exactly. Using the publicly traded company's funds. Now, I have to say this, you know, he can't do this by himself, right? The board has to be on board with this, no pun intended. So how do you guys feel about Michael Saylor and Michael's strategy or MicroStrategy taking such a big position in Bitcoin, a leveraged position, may I add?
Yeah.
It's an OG move.
I think, it's those legends. It's those moves where people become legends. You know, either you become a legend or you go down in flames. You know what I'm saying? And very few people, you know, step out to make that attempt, and he's doing it. You know.
Well, we also got to think about this too. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. We got the supply factor. You know, that's really going to start coming into effect. You know, we're not too far away from the next halvening, and that's going to put a lot of attention on the supply factor. And then you're going to have the basics of economics come into play, which is supply and demand. So I think it's very so someone like Michael Saylor doing what he's doing, it's like he who holds the gold holds the keys to the kingdom.
The issue I have, though, I agree, and if he were using his own personal money, he could
be in a position to have more to possess. They could possess more Bitcoin than Satoshi has.
Right.
Which is
so my question though, Rice, is this: it's a leveraged position. It's using the company's money. So my question is, will they have gold hands? Will they have those diamond hands? I mean, that they say, will they be able to take the pressure of a $20,000 Bitcoin or even lower on a leveraged position? How does that look? Will the board capitulate? Will they? Well, I think that's the issue with it. I'm saying, in normal terms,
club. He's a part of a club, not the club, but he's a part of a club, and I think he has a lot of inside information. I think he knows.
Here we go, giving people. This guy got in Bitcoin 2 days ago. Come on now, dog. Come on, Rice.
I don't see this being a bad move. I don't see them capitulating. I don't see it happening. I don't see them.
Well, Keeper.
He'll dollar cost average too.
He has to. He has no other choice. He has to see this through.
Yeah, we interviewed him.
Just like Do Kwon.
We interviewed him while in Miami, right?
Exactly.
And if you watch, it's a short clip. It's like 2 minutes long. But if you watch it, I asked him, "Hey, are you really going to never sell your Bitcoin?" And this man never laughs, by the way. He laughed and looked at me and said, "Yeah, you don't sell your Bitcoin. Why would you sell your Bitcoin?" And I understand that that's where his mentality is, right? And so what I believe is that if the company can withstand financially, and I don't know what their back end financials look like, but if the company can withstand a $10,000, $20,000, $25,000 Bitcoin, if it can hold for the amount of time that, let's assume that it goes there, whatever that number is, if it can hold, then yes, he is going to be it's going to be astronomical, in my opinion, because of the same thing we talked about. He has probably the stores of money to be able to sit on it and be able to be patient. Like I've said, if you look at his average entry, it's not great. Everybody on this panel probably has a lot lower entry into Bitcoin.
Yeah, his average is what like $28,000, yeah, $30,000,
somewhere around like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my question is, I'm hearing Crypto Lifer, I think is the guy's name. Yesterday was on the panel with us.
Buddy.
He gets on my nerves, but I mean, I like him as a person, but good God almighty.
Some content.
Don't put me on with Crypto Lifer no more, bit boy.
He's a bull a lot of times. But
he came out with a 7K number and just threw. I'm like, God, I mean, I thought you thought it was going to 100,000. I mean, which one is it going to be? But if we go to 7,000, if we go to 10,000, I don't either. But if we go to 10, but this is crypto. But this is crypto. Yeah. It likes to overshoot. But if we go to 15,000 and it's not about going there, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, it's about how long do we stay there. And if MicroStrategy can service the debt they have against the Bitcoin, that's what I'm wondering. And I would love to know what you guys
I want to say real quick to
situation.
the new people that are in here, it's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. Listen, this is financial advice, right? The time to buy these assets is when everybody else is freaking out because the prices are down so much. That's not the time to take the attitude of, well, I'm going to wait longer because it's going to go lower. No, that's why you DCA on the downfall. You continue to buy when everybody is freaked out. That's what works.
Mm-hmm. Yep. When the fear is overwhelming, when the fear is just absolutely overwhelming, like you've seen those GI indicators, right? Where like it's just like green, extreme greed, right? Yeah. Just like over in like the 90 percentile area, and then like you see extreme fear like past like the 22 percentile area. Like when it's in like 15 to like 7. That's when you should be buying like with your heaviest bags, man, with that dry powder. Like,
now, is that crypto? Is that financial advice, TenPound?
Well, I mean, for the most part, like you can't go wrong with it.
No. I was hoping you would say no. I was hoping you would say no.
Okay. Here's the first tenet that every newbie should learn. The first tenet every newbie should learn. This is not financial advice. This is for research purposes and educational purposes only.
There you go.
I think everybody knew I was being sarcastic.
I've heard that so many times. I've heard that so many times. I'm sick and tired of hearing it. But they need to know that. As well as that's do your own research and and FUD and all these different acronyms or whatever you want to call them that are a part of the space. There's a reason why we say these things. And even though they're only short words or short, sentences, they have a broad concept. And newbies need to understand and learn these things because you're going to experience this stuff over and over and over again. And you're going to need to come back to that. That's going to be where your strength is at, to come back to that you understand and know so that you can see it through.
Yeah, Keeper, 33,000. That's what anything for clicks is saying. 33K for Saylor, which, long term, like I said, I bought a 3K. Amen.
I bought a 3K, man. Like dude's like, his baseline is huge. I'll tell you that.
When it went from 20, it went all the way down to 3.
Yep.
And that was tough. That was.
I called that bottom. I called that the bottom.
Yeah, you did.
Didn't I? TenPound.
you did.
I said we are not going lower than 3,000. Everybody then, Tone Vase, all the big cats want $1,500. They were saying 15.
Had 3. No, he had 3 or 1,500.
No, you gotta pick. You can't.
I bought at 3. I bought at 3. I bought at 3 because of him. I bought at 3 because of him. Because he had a 3 or 15 price. You know what I'm saying?
That's the most I ever bought.
And I watched it.
No, that's you know what? No, hey, but LJ, that's a 50% deviation.
Well, yeah, but you gotta
3,000 or 1,000.
Nothing is exact. Nothing is exact.
No, it's not.
Exact. You're doing analysis.
I was looking at this. I was looking at the MicroStrategy average buy-in for Bitcoin, and I'm getting around 30,200.
Yeah.
Okay.
30,159.
That time, that drop down to ultimately March of 2020, having already been in crypto for 3 years at that point. March of 2020 was when I bought the most crypto I had ever bought. And I will tell you that, and I openly am admitting this, even though I believed and was bought in fully, I was scared to death.
Of course,
it was scary.
Because you're in it. You're in it,
different.
right? Because at 3,000, you're like, well, damn.
At me like, what are we doing? No, wait a minute. What are we doing? Right?
You're questioning your judgment. Is this right? Am I right?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so that's good conversations, guys. I really appreciate everyone on the panel. Great conversations. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. I want to move on to the next one, which is hilarious. CoinDesk article, Ukraine. This is crazy, man. Like this country asked everyone to donate crypto, help us out, and these guys turn around and ban.
Hey, now before we even get too deep into this, I just want to notate. So Zelensky is an actor who was a comedian actor who played on a television show as a teacher who became the president of Ukraine. He's a World Economic Forum puppet. He was at Davos in 2021. Klaus Schwab was introducing him, talking about changing the Ukrainian government from the inside out. Bitcoin goes against globalization. Yeah. So, and I'm sure that if the people of Ukraine had a choice in this, they would be all for keeping crypto. But the governments are they're everything that's happening is happening for a reason, and people need to realize that and just kind of read between the lines.
Rules for thee, not for me.
Yeah, exactly. No, the thing is that Zelensky is a dictator. Most people don't realize it.
Yes, exactly.
He's not. Yeah, he's a dictator. Yeah, man, dictators gonna do what dictators gonna do.
Not gonna be a part of Ukraine anymore. They want to. Some of them want to.
Who does?
Part of the country does not.
Yeah, the Donbass region. The Donbass region.
Several regions.
Okay.
So it's like the closer you get to the Russian border, is you have people who want to go back into the Russian Federation.
Donbass. Yeah,
and then the people that are closer to the German side are all about the NATO thing. But they can't join NATO. And that would cause World War III, absolutely 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. But people need to pay attention to what's going on, because I feel like, I've talked with you about this, Blood. Events that have taken place, like in China with the social credit score system, Venezuela and Zimbabwe with hyperinflation. I feel like these are test beds, test nets to see how.
So this is interesting. I used to say this back in, I think, 17. I used to say crypto is a fiat black hole, and this is a perfect example of that. So what Ukraine is doing here, ladies and gentlemen, the central bank is literally banning their citizens from purchasing crypto with their currency, their local or foreign currency. They can't buy it with Bitcoin, or they can't buy cryptos with that currency. And essentially, what that means is that they don't want their currency to leave their borders. They don't want a huge outflow of their currencies leaving Ukraine. So, I mean, this is crazy. They can only buy up to $3,400 per month in other currencies other than Ukraine's currency.
Read this next one. To prevent unproductive outflow of capital from the country under martial law. Who is saying that Bitcoin is freaking productive. Like who says that? These people are already
dictatorships
are already down, right? Let's just spit on them and kick them and not allow them to try to get up in some type of way in the long term while we're at it. It's freaking.
But they did the whole okie dokie on them though. Like they wanted everyone to donate crypto to this. This is so crazy.
Rules for
to be fair,
I'm glad I didn't give them.
It wasn't the government.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I didn't give them one. What you say, Rice?
Yeah, shit either.
Donations were from like non-governmental agencies and organizations.
But they were asking for it.
And it was helping the military and it was helping funding, but obviously they want to put a stop to that. So the people need to ask why.
And they just got some money from the U.S. government. I'm sure they got some more money. So I really think a lot of that ties in. We're going to give you this money, but we need you to make these information and these statements and so forth.
They got money and weapons,
and it was helping you. And then all of a sudden now you're saying, and so I have to question that,
Bro, they got money and weapons, man. They got a sweetheart deal of a lifetime, bro.
Yeah, because it was the EU funded them with weapons that they have which had never been heard of. Not the EU, was it NATO? It was one of the two organizations.
Well, NATO can't give them. NATO can't give them money.
Maybe it was the EU that gave them money for purchase of weapons and had to repay the money. So and that's
Germany or something. I think
that had been done before.
And the U.S. just gave them a billion twice or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this should be headlines in the crypto space, man. Like I can't believe that they just turned around and did that. First of all, a lot of people were saying that they did a rug pull.
What about the IMF?
No,
because IMF and World Economic Forum, ECB are all up each other's asses. And look at what the IMF, the pressure that they were putting on El Salvador when they made Bitcoin a legal tender. So
Argentina as well.
So it's all the countries that are connected with the World Economic Forum, with the ECB, with the IMF are going to be against cryptocurrencies as far as the regulations are concerned because of the threat. Because we're seeing,
it doesn't line their pockets.
Right. We're seeing Hillary Clinton. We're seeing all these other different political figures all around the world coming out and talking about Bitcoin being a threat to fiat currencies and to national security.
What a great advertisement for Bitcoin, by the way.
I'm going to read something from this article in March 15th of this year, just a couple days ago. It says, and it's a CNN, but, a massive spending bill signed into law by President Joe Biden Tuesday provides for a one-time $13.6 billion infusion of military and humanitarian aid to Ukraine.
Yeah, but I mean, we just print money like it's, going out of style. We've been doing that. So why not just keep it going? Let's keep printing, baby.
You get this money and then you make that decree, about.
Yeah, I mean, it is the best advertisement for Bitcoin when you look at people in power literally stating that it is a threat. And it is a threat, right? I don't think that it's some backwards way. Like if you go deep with it and you say, "Oh, the CIA created Bitcoin, the NSA created Bitcoin," we've had these discussions before. And the problem with it is, but here's the problem. The problem is, I think sometimes we give too much credit, because if that's really how it happened, then they sat down and said, "Okay, we're going to introduce this in. We're going to be anonymous. We're not going to let anybody know. Then we're going to let this build and build and build and build. And then we're going to start smashing back and having the government say, no. Because ultimately what they want it to look like, if that's the case, is that we made the decision for ourselves. We stood up. We went against the government. And ultimately what we're grabbing is something that the government created. I think that's given a lot of credit to. That's a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far though with it, Keeper. I wouldn't say. I mean, just because they created it doesn't mean that they meant for it to get in the hands of the people. So now that it's open source, it really doesn't matter. The genie's out the bottle.
Right.
You know what my opinion is on that. Whether they did or didn't, I think it was a two-way street. And so they understood that the majority of or they assumed, or they bet on that the majority of the masses would go for whatever other currencies they present, their CBDCs, and they'd have their elite system that only a few, because look, imagine this, imagine all of us on this panel, we had our own country and we were issuing CBDCs to our populace. Okay, when we went to go do business with each other, would we exchange our CBDCs? I don't know what your numbers are. I don't know how many of those you're producing. It's not open source. So even though I'm telling my population that this is good money, when it comes to when I do trade with you, we're gonna have to come up with a different settlement. Because I don't want you.
So no, the CBDCs are going to be pushing us towards a global element. So I feel like the CBDCs would be equal to each other, which would get rid of a lot of your Forex issues.
Okay, but now
which gets rid of a lot of war between nations.
Yeah,
that's if the numbers. That's if the books are open. Are you?
No, they will be. No, they will be to each other. The governments and the banks will keep it open to each other, and they'll be. So I feel like a Chinese CBDC, a Russian CBDC, and a U.S. CBDC will all equal the same thing. Not like where you're going to Mexico and taking a U.S. dollar and exchanging it for pesos and getting a big difference in your value. I feel like it's going to be, when we're talking about globalization, you're talking about things being the same, uniform everywhere. So that would be one of the use cases, and that would also be one of the things that
I disagree with you there, Rice.
For the public.
I disagree, and the reason why is because you have what's called supply and demand. So if you have more imports than exports, then that directly affects the price of your currency.
But
that means the demand for your currency is reflective of what your import exports are.
Globalization is another. I'm trying to be nice about the algorithm.
Okay,
it's a C word that associates with China, Russia, those type of governments.
Coochie.
Communism. If we're just going to just spell it out. Communism.
I thought
you're talking about CB.
I thought it was the Uchi Coochie.
Globalization is putting us into a global communist landscape, and with that being said, everything will be equal and on the same footing. That's why there would be globalization. It's getting rid of nationalities, nation states, and we're already seeing the decline of people and patriotism in all their nations. So they're pushing towards a globalization effort where you may have borders, but they're not really borders. Everything would be the same. So your GDP, your import exports, that doesn't matter because everybody's going to be on equal footing.
That's the idea, in a sense, with the whole IMF trying to, instate this new currency system. The IMF and the World Economic Forum colluding together with the sort of like system chimera of sorts, to just save the global population once everything does come crumbling down.
So let's take a look.
You're on nothing to be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Agenda. I mean, they're pushing towards something. That's why, I mean, when we mentioned selling houses, are they trying to entice people to sell their house because they think it's worth more money, when in fact it's not really worth more money. The money that it was valued at is worth less. So people don't get that. People are like, oh, my house is worth so much more money. I have so much more wealth to my name. But really, it equates to less than what you had than when you started.
Right. What is that? What does that new money actually buy you? It's the purchasing power that really matters, not the nominal dollars. Let's move on to the
millionaires. Going to be everybody will be millionaires here soon.
Right. We've got here Twitter implementing crypto payments for creators using Stripe, whereas more so Stripe is finally jumping back into the crypto space.
Flip flop.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what I was about to say.
Is Crypto Lifer sponsored by Stripe?
Oh my God! Look, Lifer, I don't have any problem with you. I promise you. I promise you. It's all in fun. I swear it is.
We've had a lot of private conversations. Okay, I love the guy personally.
Okay, yeah, he's cool, but yeah, that measured move that Stripe just did here is
it's on Polygon Network.
Yeah, it's on Polygon. So what do you guys feel about this move? Is this a big thing for crypto? I think this is pretty big. I mean,
it was inevitable.
It is, and it's another way to try to figure out how the IRS can figure out people receiving payments with cryptocurrencies as well. So more tracking and tracing.
All KYC.
Yeah, so these wallets, of course, will be KYC.
You get your USDC or your USDT from Stripe, and then you send it out to your non-custodial wallet. Then you send it somewhere else to an exchange that you don't have attached to your ID, but you've just given all your information away.
Oh, they got the trail. Yeah, unless you mix it.
That's where
TenPound has put us on a great mixer. Tornado Cash.
Tornado Cash.
Yeah.
Man, that's the ZK Snarks tag, man. You can't go wrong with ZK.
Tornado. What is it?
.cash.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mixer.
It's from the Zcash boys.
Yeah. So get up on it, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a Wasabi wallet as well.
Getting that OPSEC up, man. That's something that
Yeah, Wasabi does a mixer for Bitcoin, right?
I think Samurai does.
Samurai does something similar to Samurai.
Bitcoin.com is supposed to be doing it on the back end, and I don't think it's been advertised, but I did an interview with Roger Ver a couple of years ago, and he was mentioning it happening.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think it happens on the back end, and nothing is really said. Because that's, if I had a wallet, that's what I would do, is I would have an automatic tumbler shuffler set up in it.
Yeah.
So that people can utilize it. I know that, because we've talked about this, I mean, the exchanges and such, they have ways of being able to identify shuffled coins. But I think we're getting smarter about how we're doing things and how we're building things. So I think
people misunderstand it.
Cash.
I think people misunderstand it, and they always think when we have this conversation that we're talking about evading taxes, right? And I want to be clear, like that's not what it is. There is a layer of privacy that I have. Right? Listen, I got cash in a safe in front of me right now, right?
Right.
And ultimately, I should be able to pay somebody to do whatever that may be, right? It doesn't need to be something nefarious, and I don't need to freaking tell the government that I did it. And so I think there is that layer.
You're kind of new, so, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Damn, he just tried to ether my man Keeper. He tried to ether Keeper.
This is a really big thing that a lot of people don't think about or is not even mentioned like today.
Oh,
you
man.
May own some Bitcoin, and depending on what happened with that Bitcoin previous to you owning it, it could already be flagged for being utilized in some sort of...
Bitcoin is actually not as fungible as people think.
If you have, and that's one of the reasons why Charlie Lee wanted to add the whole Mimblewimble MWeb extension for that fungibility to allow for that shuffling. But it's a sidechain thing, because if it would have been on-chain, it would have been delisted from
Rice, how long you been in Bitcoin?
2017.
Well, shoot, I've been in before you. What you talking about?
Damn! I need my soundboard up. Oh, Lord. Oh.
Has this been brought up to you that you could own dirty Bitcoin that could become unaccepted by exchanges or by payment methods because it's been tagged as being used for
we were talking about that a little bit from the Silk Road. They have a lot. There's been a lot of Bitcoin that came from there, so, but you wouldn't know it.
Right, but the governments would know it with chain analysis, and then you own this coin and you're responsible for all the past transactions.
Well, see, you would think though theoretically that if it came down to that, this is what I would think anyway, that you would be able to say, hey, listen, this is the blockchain. We can search this back. We can see where this came from. We can see where it went in between. And then you can see where I come in. And when that happens, I would think you would have a really good case with an attorney to say, hey, listen, that's not at all where, you know what I mean? This didn't have anything to do with me before this. I think you'd be able to prove that.
This is what Keeper just did to Rice career right here. Boom! Out of here, son.
I you had just gotten involved in crypto in the past few years.
Now in my social media venture.
Word.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just knocked me the fuck out, man. Like, just call me Chris Rock now, man. I'll take you.
Yo, I'm gonna have to get a meme started with Keeper's face walking up to the Rice face up there like.
Next time I have Rice on the show. I'm gonna get Miguel to put together a nice.
Please do. Hilarious.
Crypto Chris Rock.
So, what about? So, since we're talking about Twitter, what about your boy Elon? Like this. I think this is great.
Your body. This shit's not carrying enough voltage.
This is great, man. I mean, he's found the funding. He's found the funding to actually do it. And the crazy thing about these types of acquisitions is really almost like a hostile takeover. the thing is, they so-called, the board swallowed the poison pill. If you don't know about that, go search it and you'll figure out what that all entails and how that pretty much tries to protect them from an acquisition or a takeover. This guy goes out and gets Bank of America, who else? Merrill Lynch, and some others to go ahead and pony up that money to buy Twitter. Now, the thing is, the board has a fiduciary responsibility for their stakeholders to make sound financial decisions, and if he's going to buy this is what they should be doing. Like, they have to pretty much sell to him because it's a price that would make it Gucci for the shareholders. What's your take on? Go ahead.
Twitter is being. I'm sorry. I'm big on free speech. Twitter is known for being the public square, and
yeah,
if you can control the narrative in the public square, then you're controlling a really big slice of the pie. And I think that this has brought a lot of attention to the free speech issue, which I appreciate Elon doing.
Okay.
But the powers that be are not going to let that take place. Period. It's not going to happen at all. Regardless of the money being offered, I feel like the powers that be would incentivize the board to keep it as it is, to where they can control the narrative and be able to continue to take people's voices away, shadow ban, censor people on the platform. Because if Elon was in charge of it, it would be the opposite. It would give people that free speech. Now, he did mention, though, that if it was something that was really controversial, that maybe it would be very low in the algorithm, but it wouldn't be something that would be taken off the platform.
Right.
So I think that's something that people need to take notation to, is that this is the international public square, and it is currently controlled. The narrative is controlled, and they're not going to allow for that to
controlled
change.
By who, Rice?
Controlled by them.
Power.
Controlled by the Twitter group. Whoever tells
them is in Dems.
Same fact checker. Maybe
them is in them.
Maybe Dems. Maybe who's. Maybe theys. Maybe hims. Hers,
them Democrats. That's who's controlling this public square right now.
So you look at Facebook. You look at Facebook and what's happening on Facebook. And then I've mentioned many times about the PragerU case against YouTube, against Google, and how they lost. And how a federal judge in California in February of 2020, a lot of this kind of got swept under the rug because of everything that was happening at that time period, conveniently, not just because of that, obviously, but what got ruled was that a private company, corporation like Google and YouTube are not bound by the First Amendment. So with that being said, I don't see Twitter being given away to the opposition and allowing for free speech.
Keeper, what's your take on it?
Man,
you think it's going to happen?
I don't. I think that really looking back at it as it relates to Elon Musk, I think that it's crazy because he talks about wanting this, essentially what he wants is decentralization, right? But he's trying to centralize everything under himself, right? He's trying to be at the
I've
head
heard that argument
of every freaking thing, right? And so ultimately, I do think that he is about free speech. I do think that he doesn't like what's going on, and I support that. But at the end of the day, I also think that he realizes, because he does it, he's manipulated Dogecoin, he's messed with Bitcoin, and literally, I've heard, and I haven't personally seen.
But that's a jab to the SEC. That's all. That's just the SEC jab.
Well, so I agree with that, but he's making buys prior to and set, like he has bought and sold on the front and back end of that. So he is capitalizing on his push and what he can do. And so I think with Twitter,
he's also challenging the hell out of the SEC. I mean, the things that he's done, if he didn't have the money that he had, he would probably be locked up.
He'd be Martha Stewart. He'd be
what
Martha
are you
Stewart.
when you're like the wealthiest individual on this planet? So
right, you play games with the SEC apparently.
And then the other thing,
and make money while doing
is this: he probably knew from the get-go, because of what I've mentioned, that he's not going to get Twitter. But I can guarantee you, based off all this promotion, that Plan B, because there is Plan B. You can watch the TED Talk interview. He did a TED Talk interview just a few days after a lot of the announcements. So this was like last week or so. So people should check it out. And he said that there's a Plan B. He wouldn't mention what Plan B was, but I feel like Plan B was pretty much Plan A. And
so he's playing 4D. He's playing 4D chess.
Promoting his platform and pushing, and then people immediately flood over to Elon's thing because he's going to be allowing for free.
Well, think about it. They were talking about what's called a poison pill. If for those of you that don't know what a poison pill is, essentially they are able to devalue what he has. They're hurting themselves. They call it a poison pill because it hurts everybody, but it's changing the number of shares. To make it really simple, they basically dilute the amount that he has, and I think it's crazy because I agree with what Rice just said. I think that his whole plan from the start was to get the attention, build this up. I think he's making money on the way, and I think he's playing 4D chess. And then when they tell him no or whatever, I think he's going to be able to
sells his 9%.
Twitter. Yep, he sells Twitter. He makes a ton of freaking money, and he says, "I'm taking my toys and I'm going home." And oh yeah, by the way, do y'all want to come with me? Because I got something over here that is going to be way better, and he's got Starlink to run it on.
I got to shout this out.
Damn,
I've never seen this.
Man, y'all connecting the dots tonight, boy.
We got Klaus Schwab watching Crypto Blood CBTV right now. Klaus Schwab, he's commenting.
Who is that?
This?
Klaus Schwab.
Klaus Schwab.
Come on, this is not Klaus Schwab in the chat.
The Klaus Schwab.
There ain't no way. There ain't no way that man's got his own YouTube, but that's freaking funny. I like it.
I like it. LJ, what's your take on Twitter? Is that happening? The takeover, Elon?
I don't know. I think it's tricky, man. I think both possibilities are there, but I do think that I look at it like this. There's always something that they're not telling us, and there's always a direction that we don't anticipate. And so I think that what will really happen is yet to be revealed.
That's cryptic.
Basically, I think most of us or most people's assumption will be not 100% on point, but may have some portions, but it'll be a twist that we never anticipated or thought of.
No, I do want to say that I would like to give a big, and I don't really do this for someone like Elon Musk, but I do have to shout out what he is doing because it is bringing attention to free speech. It's getting people to think about this, more so than they may have thought before or never even thought before, because the censorship has just been, me and Blood have talked about this a lot ever since really the whole Alex Jones InfoWar thing is just gone insane. That was a test bed to see how people were going to react.
When they took my man Alex off, I love Alex
whether
Jones.
you agree with him or not.
I also mentioned this. It was entertainment for me.
If Elon was to even be able to get some sort of control over Twitter, not necessarily complete ownership, but just some sort of control, then I would really like to see him actually, not that I'm pro, but bring back Donald Trump. Bring back the people whose accounts have been terminated.
I mean, he would. I think that's what I think he would. Someone TenPound, turn your volume down a little bit on the speakers.
I'm echoing.
Yeah, he definitely would do. I hope he does. That would be epic. But the more you guys talk about it, though, Rice, I think I might have to agree. I don't think they're going to allow it somehow, some way. It's going to be some reason they're going to come up with.
When you get to be, I think you realize this. When you get to be at a certain point of monetary wealth, it's not the wealth that you want, it's the control.
Power. Yeah.
So why would you sell the control that you have for the wealth that you already have? Because you can only be so rich. You can keep accumulating the numbers, but what the hell are you going to do after?
It's not about money at this point, I don't think. No. I think at the point that you have this much money and this much influence, I think he's playing like, hey, what can I do today? Right? He wakes up and says, genuinely, I think he likes to. I don't think he wants to see the world burn, right? Like they say in Batman at all. But I think he does wake up and say, you know what? What can I do today that I could? I think some of it's an ego boost. Like, look what I'm able to do with the power and influence that I have. And hey, he's got it. So I guess we'll see where it goes from there. Sense.
Yeah. Good commentary on that, ladies and gents. Last one I want to talk about. This is crazy. We're going to top it off with something that isn't directly related to crypto, but kind of is. It plays into this whole crypto space a little bit. I was blown back when I saw this. Not really, but kind of, because I just didn't think it would happen this soon. So there are applications for
already. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
We started it with the stimulus checks.
That's very true. That's very true.
In my opinion, so I thought that was the precursor.
Yeah,
it's the test net.
The test net. Yeah, there's all the test nets.
But my problem with this is I as a Black American, I see this as just being a reiteration of welfare, and there's a time and a place where you give people things that they need to sustain. But I'm big on teaching people how to fish, and welfare. All it did was it's like the analogy I bring you some fish and you're sitting down and you jump up all eager to get it from me and I hand it to you and you say thank you, and then the next time I come you jump up and I say no, just sit down. You know what I'm saying? And then and then the next time no, just sit down, and then eventually you don't stand up anymore when I come in the door, and then one day I don't show up, and then so you don't even know where I got the fish from or even how to fish. And so to me ultimately that puts you worse than you were when I met you, because at least when I met you, you were initially eager to get up. So if I would have taught you how to fish, you would have been eagerly going to fish. And so, it looks good on the surface, but I see what it does and what it has done, especially to, Black Americans. And, it destroyed our communities, man, because it put a bunch of, requirements, that were detrimental over a longer term.
It's optics.
Well,
so
I mean, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised where it happened. Chicago, Cook County,
optics.
Right? You got a black, black LGBT plus woman. I mean, that's a triple dipple minority right there, boy. You can't get any more minority than that.
Minority infinite.
Honestly, I'm not even sure she's human, bro.
Littlefoot.
Some pictures of her, man, and
Miss Littlefoot
she might be alien, man.
Miss Littlefoot.
She might literally be.
That's her name, Rice.
I was thinking she should be Miss Littlejohn.
I'm sorry, Lightfoot.
No, hell to the no. Hell to the no.
I heard Dr. Peterson, which he was at the Bitcoin conference.
Jordan Peterson, yeah.
I like him a lot, and I heard him talking about basically how they keep adding letters to. I'm not trying to get off on a tangent here, but they keep adding letters is LGBTQ right, and ultimately what people are doing is saying, well, I'm marginalized. Well, hang on a second. I'm more marginalized than you,
right?
And ultimately, what's happening is we are building this world where it's like poor me, right? Not let's wake up and let's go out and seize the day and actually do something
too,
like
let's creating that division.
Yeah, exactly. I just
poor black man. We just
now here. I want to bring
me, LJ, and TenPound. We just at the bottom of the damn.
Listen, the white man here trying to hold everybody down.
And y'all about to be down there with us in a minute. All these
other. Can we just admit what it is for a minute, bro? Because like other black people don't even want to lift up other black people. You know? What I mean?
You're right. You're right.
True.
Like wholeheartedly speaking, man, like we live in a society where people just got their hand out, willing to take and never give. It's like in the torrenting days back in the day, we called those people just straight up like, leechers, man. Like you ain't seeding, you just downloading the leech, bro.
That's right.
Like, you ain't seeding no more.
I want to bring up a point.
Man, I was a leecher. Out there on the torrent days.
UBI, the idea of UBI, and this is something that's like really that people need to pay attention to, because if you look at the welfare system that's been mentioned, I've noticed over the past few years where the welfare system has changed a lot of the rules. I have friends that are lower class. I was working as a DJ in strip clubs. A lot of these girls were on Section 8 housing because they didn't have proof of income and things like that. And a lot of the rules started changing where if you had a drug conviction, you weren't allowed to receive welfare, or you couldn't even allow somebody with a drug couldn't live in your home. So
you couldn't live under someone else.
Welfare didn't start off like that, though. Welfare didn't start off like that. So it started off like you were saying, with the guy coming in with food, standing up, telling a person to sit down, and start telling people what to do because of the incentive of receiving this money. But people don't realize that receiving like the UBI the welfare, put you under a system of control where they can tell you what you can and can't do, or if you don't follow the rules, then you're cut off of the system. And I think, unfortunately, you're going to find a lot of people who are wanting to take advantage of the system. We've been seeing that more and more. People are conditioned to do that. I remember growing up where the black community looked out for itself. And then I've been progressively seeing more and more black on black crime. And like where you're saying, the general average black man doesn't stand up for his brother, whether it's a black or a white guy. But
Rice, you stood up for me in Wynwood, man. You was ready to go get it down, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
You're being nice about it now. You made me sound like a psycho when that shit was happening.
I built all through Wynwood, man, late at night, taking a bunch of those pictures, man. I built all through. I got out and hit the block, man, and took a gang of those pictures, man, and just built around.
Yeah, I ran into a brother, man, that just wanted to smoke with me, and I'm like, dog, why?
Alcohol.
Why?
That's what it is.
Yeah,
alcohol.
why?
It's always alcohol.
I don't know, man. We got a lot to work on as black people, as humanity,
humanity as a whole. Yeah.
It's everyone.
We're seriously
we just get the
here.
worst, man. We just get it the worst, and we're affected. Everybody has their problems, and everybody goes through things. It's just we get it the worst, and we get a dose of all of.
So I want to just circle back. So how do you guys feel about this this whole situation that we got going on here with Chicago and this pilot program? They're going to be basically giving UBI. It's going to be universal basic income, 150.
Baby. That's
sign up for your slavery.
It's setting people up for that. You'll own nothing and be happy. Because look, we're going. I tell people all the time, we're going automation, we're going robotics. It's not going to happen, overnight, but it's touching segments of the workforce every day, and it's going to touch segments that people haven't even thought about.
Get ready to be a matrix.
There's going to be a mass amount of people that are unemployed, but not only that have no skills. Either you're going to have old world skills, like where you can fix a car or you can fix plumbing and electrical, or you're going to have new world skills where you can write code
but doctor, everybody can be everyone can be a battery regardless of your skill set.
Yep, everybody. Facts. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. As I was alluding to, we're still using dead men as the means for our currency. If you think about it, we're living on the promises of dead men
posing on your dollar.
Yeah.
All these slave masters posing on your dollar.
Yeah, man. Like that's not necessarily my dollar.
Jewels, man. Some Killer Mike.
Some Killer Mike. Killer Mike.
It's more than just slave masters, man. Like Andrew Jackson is the most commonly used dollar in the streets, man. And that guy was a murderous, genocidal freak.
He also ended the second attempt at or what you may call the third attempt at central bank in the United States before the Federal Reserve took over. Andrew Jackson, everybody's got problems.
Right.
Unfortunately,
especially back then, if that's the common behavior amongst your counterparts, your white counterparts as a white man in 19 whatever, 18 whatever.
Even a wealthy black man owned slaves.
Yeah, facts. And wealthy black men did own slaves, and wealthy black men also owned a lot of businesses back in the day.
It wasn't just white people.
And Africans sold a lot of us.
No, you guys didn't come from Africa. You were born here, man. Come on.
Yeah, he's right.
I believe there was a mix.
It was a mix. It was a mix.
Dude, come on, man. The mix is like a 5%, bro. It's like a 5% mix.
The majority were already here, and our history is fucking.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Yeah, facts. Rice is bringing some valuable.
It's because I am black. I know fucking black history.
Yeah. Bro, he's right, dude. Seriously though, like he's right. Bro, majority of the slaves died on the journey.
Yeah, there's no way they could. Yeah, there's no way.
Right, I know. Identifying as black? Are you identifying as black, Rice? Is that what's happening right now? Are you identifying as black?
He's a white man identifying as black.
Brown rice. Right. I'm albino. Let's get it correct. Brown rice.
Because if you can be a woman identifying as a man, then hell, Rice can be
That's right.
He can be whatever, man.
Yep.
He can identify as whatever.
I'd sure like to walk into some big bank and identify as white, so I can get.
I would love to too, LJ.
Well, here's the thing. You know, there have been some races that have gone on TV and found out that they have sub-Saharan African in them.
Right.
In their bloodline.
A friend of mine's
has the
family's
right.
from South Africa, so he's a white guy, but his nationality is African American.
Yeah.
Because he's from Africa. His family.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That is true. Technically, he's African American. But I know we're getting off on a tangent, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Let's go down the roll call. Let's get Rice up here real quick. Go ahead, Rice. Promote yo shit.
All right, man. I just appreciate everybody for tuning in today for this live stream. You can check out my YouTube channel at RiceTVx. You can follow me everywhere on social media at RiceTVx. And you can sign up for my mailing list over on www.ricetvx.com. And I shouldn't have even added to www because that makes me sound so
a boomer.
Yeah.
My man, CryptoKeeper. I appreciate, man, CryptoKeeper. Thanks for coming on. You had me on your show last week. I had an excellent time. Hope to be back on there. And I really enjoyed you on mine. So tell everybody what's up.
I want to give a big shout out to the whole crypto debate channel, because I mean I was on there recently as well, and you know they're a really good channel that I wasn't very familiar with until around the blockchain.
Yeah.
So you know I appreciate Ben for BitBoy for bringing on all these different people and bringing people together. But I really do encourage people to go check out Debate Crypto and make sure you guys are subscribing. It's a great channel, and I know there's lots of awesome guests. Me, Blood, we've both been on, not together, but hopefully that can happen in the future. But definitely make sure you're checking out Debate Crypto.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we've got a channel on YouTube. It's Debate Crypto, and then we've got our Twitter is Debate Crypto OG. Just toss the OG on the end there. And I would just encourage people to obviously follow everybody on the panel. I appreciate you having me on, Blood. I will continue to have you guys on, and actually I'm going to need to have the other two gentlemen that are in here on our show, so I'm going to link up with y'all too, because I really appreciated what you guys had to say. And just check us out. We've got an NFT project coming out too. If you go over and just follow us on YouTube, the information's down below to jump in our Discord, and we're doing a lot of really cool stuff with survivalists in the crypto space. So it's going to be fun. It's cool.
Appreciate it. TenPound.
Hey everybody, I'm on Twitter. You can find me at TPS0011. I use that as like a means for me in my personal brands. TenPound is literally like how the account started, but I use this account for pretty much like voicing my opinions, integrating in with Web3 and the Web3 culture, but also on YouTube you can find me at TenPound Sterling as well. That's the true origins of this persona. And I appreciate y'all for listening.
For sure. LJ.
You can find me at d.r.littlejohn137 on Twitter, also on Instagram, and I will have a YouTube channel coming out soon called From a G Perspective. That'll be coming soon. I will say this, on my Twitter, I don't hold no punches. I talk. I spit fire.
We're about to find out. I'm following you right now. We're about to find out.
I'm not backing down on nothing on the Twitter. On my Instagram, is more inspirational and more traveling, and you know what I'm saying, more just art. You know, I don't talk shit. You know, but on Twitter, I don't hold no. I don't care whether you like me or don't like me.
There you go. And my man LJ is a correspondent on the CBTV channel as well, so check him out when you see those thumbnails rolling by. And I'm Crypto Blood, and that's it. We out of here. It's another episode of Off the Chain.
Make sure you guys are subscribed to Crypto Blood CBTV if you're not already.
Oh, thank you. I forget to do that. Yeah. Sorry about that. We out of here.
About everybody else.
Yeah. Holla. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was another episode of Off the Chain number 73. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to all the cats that was on this panel tonight as well. CryptoKeeper, RiceTVx, and my man TenPound. We out of here, people. Holla.
Taking my coin.